So tonight, here at the Grauer School, our students mean the world to us, and I hope that you'll see that throughout our ceremony. First, I would like to introduce our school founder and head of school, Dr. Stuart Grauer.
As according to tradition, most of the 2 hours will be my speech. Welcome all. Thank you to the many selfless ones who gave so well, strictly for the benefit of others. Our parent graduation committee, wisely and lovingly led by senior parents, in particular Vanessa Smith and Tara Schroeder, but so many people pitched in. It became a wonderful team. Thank you to our Board of Trustees who serve year-round to ensure that the school is sound and far-thinking. And to each and every one of you who serves on a board committee or a parent association, thank you. I hope that our senior grads someday will increasingly understand how much goes on behind the scenes and how much volunteerism and service it takes to make a both beautiful and high-performance organization. So thanks to those of you who serve, and just raise your hand a little bit if you're on our if you're a Board of Trustee member here. So we've got a few here. That's great. Thank you. Also, next up, please welcome our alumni, perpetual lifetime guests of honor. Will alumni please stand? Thank you all for coming. That means the world to us also. And welcome to those of you. We are really incredibly honored and pleased at how many people travel from afar to get here. Raise your hand up if you traveled from out of state or from Northern Cal or points far and wide to get here. Yeah, that's a lot. So thank you all. We honor you. Next, I also want to give very special thanks to a number of the people that I've been meeting already in the room, the grandparents in the room. Your presence makes this a wiser and more peaceful arena, and thank you for honoring us with your presence. And thank you all in the room for being here in support of these graduating seniors, now leaving home, but remaining tethered closely enough to keep the connection strong and loving, right? And I now invite you all to listen in as I address the graduates and express to them some of the intentionality that went into developing the education they are just now completing for my keynote of the day. Metaphysics, a concept introduced by Aristotle long ago, is the science of that which we cannot measure. Science of that which we cannot measure. Our students completed their annual standardized achievement testing weeks just recently, but our seniors were exempted from this year. And what did you do then, seniors? Were you doing something much more sensible, like Senior Ditch Day? Well, at Grauer, you had something like 6 annual standardized achievement tests, plus you had 2 or 3 rounds of scholastic aptitude tests, SATs, and the ACTs, so now you know the drill. We always spared you the opportunity to be judged by the advanced placement exam. We never gave that to you. That's at a gigantic event wherein many students are made to feel as though their self-worth and societal value and future prospects can be gauged with the greatest reliability in terms of the standardized exam, where you choose which ovals to fill in with a lead pencil. In many of your finals through the years, you were just directed instead to develop portfolios, displays, which tested your ability to create and integrate ideas and information so as to generate new meanings and reflect core values and serve on as members of teams. Seniors, again and again at Grauer, you missed out on the opportunity to become standardized kids. I commend you, renegades all. You did it your way. You came through an extraordinary non-standard as fascinating individuals, all while beating the odds by coming from a renegade school and getting into colleges of choice anyway by identifying positive life paths, if not careers, and by averaging over $250,000 each in merit scholarship offers from colleges. You deserve to be celebrating today and to feel proud of all this, as is everyone in the room today. You did it your way. Our recent standardized exams, and that week, was followed the next week by expeditions to points far and wide. And you went filming in LA, ziplining in Costa Rica, art touring in San Diego, and more. And in the past recent years, you've been all over the world, Europe, South and Central America, Asia, and all over North America, and especially the American West, farm to city, from house building on dirt roads to cruising on Rodeo Drive, hiking the Big Sur wilderness, filming on location, touring colleges in the Pacific Northwest, and providing locally needed humanitarian or ecological service, communing with nature far and wide. The Marin Headlands, the Grand Canyon, New Orleans, Baja California, and all this provides a striking contrast of two educational environments, inside the tiny bubble and outside under the unlimited, unsheltering sky. Our students went from standardized tests to open-ended field adventures across the globe in 2 weeks. These might even be perceived as educational extremes. Both of these polar experiences suggest very different types of educational pursuits. Two, or really more than two, types of education you will continue to be facing. For instance, if you're entering a college or a career that relies upon testing for the assignment of your personal worth, as you might naturally begin to wonder certain things like, how did my points compare to the ones desired by large organizations who seek out those sort of things? Or how do I rank as a student or an employee? Or wouldn't it be fairer if my achievements were graded by computer and more reliable? If a test is metaphysical, does that mean that it has no value? You students, those of you with a priority on adventure and metaphysics, straddling the other side of this educational playing field, here is a parallel set of things to wonder about. Will my need to assign value to my human worth cause me to seek prestige or money fundamentally as a core life value? What is my grade on or score of my gratitude on the gratitude scale? Why art? What is a long enough glide between each paddle stroke? How can we increase our consciousness? Why do we seek the connectivity and warmth of others? And why a kiss? Here I am standing in the dust and pines, staring up at the stars. What is this? What of it? Those are sample questions. What are your questions? Seniors, you'll seek things with limits or no limits on them, with norms or no norms, so-called real things or metaphysical unmeasurables. Who or what will determine your worth, if not you? Upon returning from afar in a field in May, one of your teachers wrote to me, quote, "Following an amazing expeditions week, I wanted to express my gratitude. What a cool school we create, one that takes students out of the classroom to experience life and interact with others and nature without their predictability and limitations that an education constantly confined within four walls fails to provide," unquote. This issue of predictability invites a huge life question. Will you do your thing? And how much will that match up with the predictable life that people expect of you and may want to measure you by? I asked about this recently when you were all together at our luncheon. YOLO, you told me all straight up, without hesitation, with pure confidence, as though I had asked the most obvious question in the world. YOLO, you only live once, was your answer. Thank you very much. There. I knew I could end the speech there, but now I have to go to the next level. Part 2 of my address. Gratitude. This was a fascinating year for me. As I was gone from my regular work life for one semester, traveling the world, on my own with nowhere to report, nothing required, for the first time in 37 years, and for the first time ever in 21 years at Grauer. No one to report to, no standards. Luckily, I had an amazing staff back home, led by Dana, to support it. Dana, I cherish and honor the stability, warmth, integrity, and compassion you put into our work, which year after year is directly and powerfully responsible for turning out students like this class. Thank you for the enrichment, friendship, and wisdom you are bringing not only to my life, but to all of our lives. You all, class of 2012, thank you for the energy and growing sagacity you have brought to our school and to one another. These qualities form a bond which will sustain you and give strength wherever you need them to. No matter where else you go, you will always wear our brand. We have shared thousands of classes, thousands of miles of world journeys, and thousands of hours of community service. Recently, you have shared with me a series of wise thoughts that might even transcend those of any class I've ever met with. Here are your words of direction, your very own words of wisdom, which I recorded. Challenge yourself. Break down the big goal into many small ones. Take advantage of educational opportunities. Experiment and go out on a limb now and then, out of your normal comfort zone. Step out of your bubble. Be open to new people and cultures. Get involved. If people or plans are not right for you, try other plans. Find your passion. Listen to your inner voice and your heart. Do what you love. Trust your instincts. In short, YOLO. Your words are an incredible set of marching orders to go on for a rich, textured, happy life. And what courage you will need to heed your own advice. I promise I will heed your advice, and I thank you for it. I'd like to make a special tribute to someone who lives this way and who has influenced a good number of you graduates through the years, Alice Borg. Not all of you have had her as a teacher, but most. The thing with Alice is, if you show up and you're seeking something that is meaningful to you in the moment, she says, let's go. She's what you call present. If you show up and need to talk about something, she'll get you a cup of cocoa or coffee and you'll talk. I'm sure some people have said, but that's not the real world. In a real school, you have to do what the curriculum says. Those people who say that are confused and seem to have no gratitude for the world they're in, and their intuitions are blocked. I want to thank Alice for making decisions for her students based fundamentally upon her ability to tap into matters of the heart. I treasure Alice, who embodies the Grauer School real world. Real teaching is surely the study of the student, and Alice is a real teacher, because real teachers understand that wisdom that matters is the wisdom we can get from our students. Real teaching, like real communication, is the study of the student. I attended class with Alice a week ago, outside on a beautiful spring day with her science class. It was her last annual bridge building contest. Kids are all around her, sixth graders of all shapes and sizes and smiles, and Alice completely surrounded as all eyes pointed towards the bridge in question. Just a dense pack of wiggling sixth graders squeezing in, watching and measuring the little balsa wood structures absorb stress, and Alice is sizing them up and knowing that no matter what they're going through, it's lovely, it's just lovely, and it's right and good. And she looks up at me with a fox and a henhouse grin. If you know Alice, you know this grin. And she's pulling a fast one on Aristotle in the Department of Education and the tax collector and the State of California Department of Education, and on the whole of civilization to be surrounded in this tender way. She is the surfer, perfectly in the barrel, and she looks up at me grinning at the universe and lip syncs, I love this. And there, the answer to any and every significant question. The answer to the question, what is the true measure of great education? What is a great life? Class of 2012, if YOLO is really true, if you mean it, Alice's situation is a situation you really must find yourself in one day. Alice is retiring as of today from teaching today, after a decade at Grauer. And Alice, you're incredible, warm-hearted, passionate, caring, eternally positive and understanding, expert, skilled, and fine service to our school and community is your legacy. Alice, if you don't promise to come back to preside over the next bridge building ceremony and contest, I'm going to do that to you again. A surf segue. You knew you'd get one from me. I was watching Rob Machado surf one time, not too long ago, when the wave sort of opened up. A beautiful face of a wave was right there, and I thought, perfect, he's going to glide right into it. Here's what Rob did, and this actually reminds me so much of Morgan's decision to choose teaching over a physics career. Rob slash-cut the complete opposite direction of the open face, hit a churning white wall, came bouncing and floating down the wall into the trough of the wave with such speed that the next thing, he just caromed up the beautiful face that was now moving cleaner and faster and steeper than ever, and Rob went screaming down the line. You see, the straight line is measurable, but it may leave out the transformation and the acceleration. And the acceleration is love and discovery. Let us be open to the learning that new and unpredictable spaces bring. Let us intuitively find our own parts of the wave. Let us be open and have the patience and faith that these moves require. In the recent movie, Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, the protagonist says, everything will be all right in the end, and if it's not all right, it's not the end. His fearful parent demands, you must move to Delhi, and we will get you a job rather than stay here and pursue this silly dream of an exotic hotel. Whereupon the son answers, Mamala, perhaps the life you wished for me will be a more secure life, but it will surely be a smaller life. As you seek authentic, fearless paths and you seek open spaces, many things will not work out. Many things will not be secure right away. Great. Because all the other things that occur next will be what you experience deeply as this transformational thing called life. People of all ages often say, it's too late for this, too late for that, and how terrible this is that it's so late. Albert Schweitzer became a doctor at age 40. I started the Grauer School at age 40. My own mother got a college degree at 54. Living is not a fill-in activity. There are no real lines. It's perpetually now in the happy life. Recent news about a new Yale graduate, Marina Keegan, is a good example. She had been published at age 22 in the New York Times, was hired by the New Yorker, a premier job, and had completed writing her first play for production. She wrote a recent moving column in the Yale Daily News to inspire her fellow graduating seniors at Yale. In that column, she pointed out to her peers, we have so much time, and she described the immense and indefinable potential energy we all felt as freshmen. We can do anything, she wrote. We can change our minds, we can start over. We must not lose this sense of possibility, because in the end, it's all we have. A few days ago, her life was taken in an auto accident. We must not lose this sense of possibility, because in the end, possibility is all we have. Students, we must treasure the possibility that infuses every moment. In 50 years, you'll be able to drive cars around with your mind, or increase your happiness perception by 18% on demand. Every day is filled with 100% possibility. There will often be people to tell you that there are no choices. This is their fears, not yours. Do not follow them. YOLO. When people tell you that's not the way it is in the real world, I hope you'll recognize such an observation for the nonsense that it is. That this false real world is code for entrapment in someone else's limits. Here's the anthemic advice of the great Ansel Adams, who was not one iota greater than any of you in high school. I believe the world is incomprehensibly beautiful, an endless prospect of magic and wonder. The world is incomprehensibly beautiful, an endless prospect of magic and wonder. And yet, none of this is measurable. Here are some other things that are not easily measurable. Can I cope with all this? Don't I deserve more than so-and-so does? Am I too fat or thin? Is my body terrible? Are most of these people smarter than me or better at giving a speech? Am I pretty, handsome, homely, attractive? Do my parents or teachers understand me? Do I look old today or too young? Do I have friends or are they not real friends? And am I popular? Guess what? I can promise you that all of these questions will remain unmeasurable. Metaphysical, except by your mood swings and the changing tides. Whenever you feel certain about one of them, remember to smile and let go. Let that thought go like gliding a paper plane out the window. All these questions may persist, even if you know they are not real. In feeling happy and successful, your openness to the universe transcends anything that can be objectively graded. Class of 2012, you will face many tests of many kinds. I now leave you with my final instructions for the real tests you will face. Next time you see the words, fill in the field, maybe leave the field an open space, a space of wonder. Karate chop the pencil. Think, I love this. Next time you see the words, fill in the field, think, it must be the other kind of field, the green one. Go there. Thank you all. Good luck.